The Cleveland Browns have found themselves in the eye of a storm, filled with draft speculation, quarterback uncertainty, and a franchise-defining decision that could shape the next decade of football in Northeast Ohio. This is about an entire organization, an entire city, and whether the right pieces are finally falling into place, or if history is repeating itself in the cruelest of ways. I'll tell you all about it in detail, but first, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to stay informed. Let's start with the lightning rod, the news that Deshaun Watson may have already played his last NFL snap. The news dropped like a bombshell earlier this week. After suffering a torn Achilles tendon in 2024, the former Pro Bowler now faces a long and uncertain road to recovery. He's 29 years old. He has a fully guaranteed $230 million contract. And according to some league executives, the chances of him ever returning to the field, let alone getting back into shape, are getting slimmer by the day. The buzz surrounding his future has gotten so loud that Watson himself responded directly with a defiant message on Instagram. "Everyone's doubting me. Everyone don't believe in me," Watson said in the video. "Everyone don't think I can get back to where I was. I know I'm going to be way better than before." Powerful words. The kind you want to hear from a leader. But can he back them up? Since arriving in Cleveland, Watson has played just 19 games. In that stretch, he's thrown 19 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and completed just 61.2% of his passes. That's a far cry from the 2020 version of Watson, the one who led the league with 4,823 passing yards and posted a 112.4 passer rating in Houston. That guy feels like a distant memory. Which brings us to the Browns' current quarterback situation. As of now, Kenny Pickett is penciled in as QB1. Yes, the same Pickett who was discarded by the Steelers and comes to Cleveland with everything to prove. The same Pickett who, while gritty and determined, is not the kind of game-changer that shifts the balance of power in the AFC. And so, all eyes turn to the NFL draft. The Browns own the number 2 overall pick. And the decision they make with it could either resurrect this franchise or bury it deeper into the shadows of what if. Enter Shedeur Sanders. He's polarizing. He's intriguing. And, according to beat writer Mary Kay Cabot, he might be exactly what the Browns need. "I believe that they should just pull the trigger on it there and not try to do anything cute, funny, or fancy, and they should go with Shedeur," Cabot said. And she's not alone. The numbers speak for themselves: 4,134 passing yards, 37 touchdowns, and a mind-blowing 74% completion rate in 2024. He finishes his college career with a 70.1% pass accuracy rate, elite by any standard. But not everyone is sold. Critics say he lacks a rocket arm. They question his athleticism. And of course, there's the shadow of his famous father, Deion Sanders, looming over every evaluation. Is he being propped up by hype? Or is he the real deal? The Browns aren't the only ones trying to figure that out. Louis Riddick, former Browns safety and current ESPN analyst, stirred the pot even more with a bold take on national television. According to Riddick, Shedeur Sanders' camp doesn't want him going to the Browns or any of the top 3 teams in the draft. He says they'd prefer destinations like New Orleans, Las Vegas, or Pittsburgh, where development systems and coaching stability offer a safer runway for a young quarterback to grow. "Shedeur is someone that wants to be collaborative," Riddick said. "He's someone that you want to talk with. He doesn't like to be told, 'This is the way we're going to do things, and you're just going to need to fall in line.' He's earned that right because of the way he's played." According to Riddick, Sanders visiting the Steelers for a top 30 visit might be more than just a formality. It could be a calculated move toward a team that checks more of the boxes for him and his inner circle. Riddick didn't mince words when evaluating the Browns either. While respectful of Kevin Stefanski, Andrew Berry, and quarterbacks coach Bill Musgrave, all of whom he says are doing excellent work, he also admitted, "If my son were coming out in the draft, I wouldn't put Cleveland at the top of the list." That's a tough pill to swallow. But not everyone agrees with that sentiment. Former Browns head coach and current Colorado offensive coordinator Pat Shurmur, who has worked closely with Shedeur, has a completely different take. In fact, Shurmur believes Cleveland is the perfect landing spot. "I think those are wonderful people and great coaches," he said of Stefanski and Musgrave. "And I think that Shedeur and those men working with him, you're going to get great results." Shurmur's endorsement carries weight. Not only has he worked in Cleveland, he knows the current staff well, and he spent time developing Shedeur firsthand. His belief isn't based on theory, it's based on experience. And it echoes what Deion Sanders himself hinted at when he spent time with Browns owner Jimmy Haslam during Colorado's NFL showcase. It was charming, it was engaging, it was cool. It was all right, Deion said, smiling. He's a good guy, and I like him. So the question for Browns fans is, do you believe in Shedeur Sanders? Is he the guy who finally pulls the franchise out of quarterback purgatory? Or is this another case of Cleveland banking on potential when stability is the real prize? Let me know in the comments, is Shedeur Sanders the right choice at number 2? Should the Browns trust their instincts or look elsewhere for a quarterback? If the Cleveland Browns decide to pass on Shedeur Sanders with the number 2 overall pick, they won't just be making a personnel decision, they'll be taking a gamble that could define the franchise for years to come. Because if Deshaun Watson doesn't return to form, and if Kenny Pickett isn't the answer, both of which are real possibilities, then the Browns risk walking into yet another season without a clear quarterback solution. And in this league, that's the fastest path to irrelevance. Let's talk about what happens if the Browns don't take Shedeur. Their most likely pick in that scenario is either Abdul Carter, the pass-rushing phenom from Penn State, or Colorado's ultra-versatile Travis Hunter. Both are elite prospects. Carter brings explosive edge pressure that could elevate an already fearsome defense. Hunter, a two-way dynamo, would give Cleveland a rare chess piece who can flip the game on either side of the ball. No one's doubting their talent. But here's the problem, neither one of them plays quarterback. Neither one of them can fix the most important position on the field. And if the Browns are staring down a full season of Pickett under center, with Watson potentially sidelined all the way through 2025, they'll need more than splash plays on defense or special teams to compete in the AFC North. There's another layer here too, timing. You don't get the number 2 pick often. At least, you hope not to. If you pass on a quarterback now, you better be absolutely certain one will be there next year. Because if your team improves just a little, say, 6 or 7 wins, you're suddenly drafting in the teens. And now you're in no man's land. Too good to get your guy. Too bad to contend. Meanwhile, Shedeur will be on another roster, possibly thriving under a staff that knew how to bring out his best. Maybe that's in Pittsburgh. Or New Orleans. Or Las Vegas. And Browns fans will be left wondering what could have been again. That's why this decision feels so enormous. It's not just about Shedeur Sanders. It's about trajectory. It's about identity. It's about answering the same question this team has been asking since 1999. Who's our quarterback? So I'll ask you again, Browns fans, what should Andrew Berry do? Do you take the swing on Shedeur and bet on upside? Or do you play it safe with a premium defender and try to survive one more year on hope? Drop your thoughts below. And if you're enjoying this kind of deep, Browns-focused breakdown, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a minute of the biggest stories in Cleveland. This offseason is just getting started. Let's ride through it together. Go Browns!